Welcome to the deep dive. So, if you're maybe wading into wedding planning, you've almost certainly thought about a wedding registry.
Definitely.
And today, we're going to unpack a really big one, the Amazon Wedding Registry. We've looked through all the info to pull out the important bits, help you figure out if it's maybe the right way to go for you.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating how Amazon, this place that sells basically everything, has become such a go-to for couples starting out.
Right.
And it's not just the huge amount of stuff, it's also how they've set up the registry itself. Some interesting benefits there.
Okay, right. So let's start right at the beginning. Setting one up, or maybe finding one if you're guest. For the couple, it seems pretty simple. There's a Create Your Registry button right there on their wedding registry page. And if you already use Amazon, well, you just sign in. Seems easy enough to get that list going.
And look, for guests trying to find that registry, it's also quite user-friendly. You've got the Find a Registry option. You can search by name,
Yep,
obviously.
yeah, the direct route.
Exactly. But they also have those advanced search options. City, state, the wedding date even. That's actually a really helpful feature, especially, during busy wedding times when you might have several invites.
Good point. Okay, now let's dive into why someone might choose Amazon. The first thing you always hear is Earth's biggest selection.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to argue with that. They have so much stuff. But what does that actually mean for a couple trying to build a registry?
Well, that huge selection is kind of a blessing and maybe a bit of a curse.
Uh-huh.
On one side, yeah, you're not stuck with just one store's items. You can add, kitchen gadgets, towels, but also stuff for hobbies, tools, whatever, all in one spot.
Right.
But navigating that massive catalog, it can feel a little overwhelming. So using their built-in tools to organize things is probably pretty important.
Okay, makes sense. Now, another thing they promote is this 20% completion discount. Sounds great, right?
Yeah.
But there are details.
Always are.
So this discount only becomes active after guests have bought at least $500 worth of gifts from your registry. Then you get a one-time 20% off coupon. But here's the catch. It's only for certain products, things shipped and sold by Amazon.com.
Yeah, that's crucial.
And there's a cap. The discount works on an order up to $1,500 total, which means the most you can save is $300.
And that shipped and sold by Amazon.com part, you really need to pay attention to that because it means the discount won't work on items from third-party sellers on Amazon, and that's actually a lot of what's available.
Ah, okay. So if you're banking on using that discount, you need to check who the seller is for those items you're adding to your own purchase later.
Exactly. Plan ahead a bit for that.
Got it. Another point, this one's more for the guests, is the fast free shipping. For eligible items in the registry, guests often get that quick, free 2-day shipping, the kind of thing people associate with Prime.
Yeah, that definitely makes it easier for guests, especially, if someone's ordering again a bit last minute or they live far away. It just removes one potential hassle.
Takes away an excuse not to buy from the registry, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. Makes it convenient.
Okay, and what if a gift isn't quite right? What about returns? Amazon mentions a 180-day return window for registry gifts. That seems pretty long.
It really is quite generous. That extended time gives the couple a lot of flexibility. They can take their time after the wedding chaos settles down, really see if that lamp fits the living room, or if they actually need 3 different types of cheese graters.
Ah, right.
It lets them decide without that usual 30-day pressure if they want to return or maybe exchange something.
Okay, good to know. Let's talk features. They seem to have some designed to make things simpler, like gift card funds. This feels like a very modern option. Instead of just physical items, guests can chip in towards an electronic Amazon gift card for the couple, and they say there are no fees.
And this really addresses that common thing where maybe a couple already has a lot of household stuff, or they live in a small place.
Right, or they're saving for something big.
Exactly. They might prefer money towards, say, the honeymoon, or maybe fixing up their place. Amazon even gives examples like a honeymoon supplies fund or a home renovation fund, often suggesting around $1,000 just as a starting idea. Couples can customize that, of course.
Seems practical. And for those bigger, pricier items that maybe one person wouldn't buy on their own, there's group gifting.
Yeah, that's another smart one. It lets multiple guests contribute towards a single expensive gift, like maybe a really nice vacuum or a piece of furniture.
So grandma can put in $50. An aunt can put in $30, a friend puts in $20.
Exactly. And together, they can gift something significant that the couple really wants, but might feel awkward asking for directly as a single gift. It makes those higher value items more accessible.
Nice. They also talk about personalization.
Hmm.
Couples can apparently add notes to items and mark some things as most wanted. What's the thinking there?
Well, the notes let the couple maybe explain why they want that specific thing. We love camping. This tent would be amazing for our trips. It helps the guest feel a bit more connected.
Gives context.
Right. And marking items as most wanted.
Mhm.
That just gives guests clear guidance if they're unsure what to pick, helps make sure the couple gets the things they prioritize the most.
And keeping it all organized, there's a tracking feature too.
Yeah.
Lets the couple see who bought what and when. That sounds incredibly useful for thank you cards.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of detailed tracking is a lifesaver when it comes to writing potentially hundreds of thank you notes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It just simplifies that whole, often quite daunting post-wedding tasks. Make sure everyone gets properly thanked.
Okay, so just to circle back on the basics. Creating the registry sounds simple. Find the button, sign in, follow the steps.
Pretty straightforward, yeah.
And the selection, we talked about it being vast, but they also highlight specific popular brands available,
Sure.
names people recognize. Things like Nespresso, iRobot, Riedel Glassware, Safavieh Rugs, Le Creuset, Instant Pot, even basic stuff like Pyrex.
Right. And having those well-known, respected brands available definitely adds a layer of assurance for couples.
Yeah.
It shows you can get quality items across different price points and categories, not just, random off-brand stuff. It adds credibility.
Makes sense. It's pretty clear that Wedding Registry is just one part of the huge Amazon universe. They have so many services, and it all seems designed to work together.
It does integrate quite smoothly if you're already in that Amazon ecosystem. It's familiar, it's convenient for many people.
And speaking of exploring different things Amazon offers, if you're maybe looking for something engaging to listen to, perhaps while you're doing all this wedding planning or just, commuting, have you looked into audiobooks much?
They can be great.
Yeah, there's just a massive world of stories and information out there you can listen to. We've actually put a link in the description if you want to check out Audible and see what they have.
Good idea. It fits that theme of finding convenient ways to access things you enjoy.
So, okay, let's sort of wrap this up. The Amazon Wedding Registry, it seems to offer a pretty compelling setup for a lot of couples. You get that huge selection. There's the potential completion discount with those caveats we mentioned.
Right, the shipped and sold by detail.
Exactly. Then there's the convenient shipping for guests, the long return window, and those helpful features like the gift card funds and group gifting. It does seem focused on making the registry part of planning easier.
I think that's the main goal, really, to streamline what can be a complicated part of wedding prep. The idea seems to be to let couples focus more on, the excitement of getting married, rather than getting bogged down in managing gift lists.
Takes one thing off the plate.
Hopefully. And as you're navigating all those plans for your future, remember there's a whole world of audio content out there too. Again, that link to explore Audible is right there in the description.
Definitely check that out. Well, here's hoping your planning goes smoothly and wishing you a really wonderful start to married life.